There's one thing that I realize, it's a principle. Before you ask God for anything, you have to thank Him for everything. Before you ask God for anything, you have to thank Him for everything. I think we get caught up in, you know, caught up in our desires and wants. And often we, or maybe specifically I was able to live out one of my dreams, living near a beach and just enjoying life, just enjoying life. And so I'm at a point where now I'm thinking of the next step, where to go. Then I realize as well that before I ask Him for anything, I must thank Him for everything in my life. Because we so often take for granted. We so often take things for granted in our lives. It's very easy to slip into like ungratitude. It's very, very easy. Even things, though things are going so much better than they have before. And so, personally, I thank God for the life I've lived, and the life I live now. And yeah, because there's a thing when you're in the shit. It's like there's that saying shared by Tim Ferriss, which is the struggle ends when the gratitude begins. And I think that's true because if you're in a place of pain and suffering, when you're grateful, you're focused on the good that's happening in your life. It's so easy to like just be blind to fucking all the good that happened in your life. I remember I was here and the province Capiz, and like this guy elbowed my eye and my eye was fucking blurry for a few days, and it was it's kind of made me think, right? It made me think. I'm so glad just to have eyesight. Eyesight is something overlooked, especially if you lose the function. I learned more about the human eye, how that works, and yeah, that made me grateful. I'm just currently reminded of that now. Like, just it's something we often forget. Like, just the power of eyesight, man. Um, I also remember, you know, being on the beach almost, yeah, by lightning, and just being so grateful to be alive and that we only have one life. We we only really have one life, and it's good to be an attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude, yeah, attitude of gratitude. And so, yeah, what else? Yeah, just an attitude of gratitude. I think it's very, 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 very important to just be grateful for things that you don't really know the good you have until it's taken away from you. And that's like, why did you lose something? Like, yeah, there's like certain people, when they're gone, you kind of ask, like, shit, how did I fuck that up? Or something like that. And then you realize you don't really understand how much someone is worth until they leave, how much someone is worth until they're gone in your life. Something like that. You don't really know sometimes. And that's such a trope, that's such a theme and trite lesson, which is you don't know the value of something until it's gone. And that's wild for me. Because it makes you think, right? And there's something I read, some Chinese wisdom. It's like, I think it little kind of connects to that a little bit, which is everything really passes. Everything really passes. Nothing is really stable in this world. The clouds pass, the waves pass. So you have to look at what is eternal. And that's apparently wisdom, according to the Chinese. Some Chinese wisdom that I read in Tolstoy's book, A Calendar of Wisdom. And so, yeah, I think what's eternal is you have to be grateful, you have to have an attitude of gratitude, and you don't really know how valuable something is until it's gone. Yeah, like health or something like that. Really, like things can shock you, you know, and I guess that's when I wanna. That's what I want to kind of talk about today, and I think the worst thing is kind of ingratitude. I think that's really bad because if you take it from a spiritual perspective, like you've been given so much, and you see yourself in comparison to others, and yet you're still ungrateful for what you don't have or what's going wrong. It's better to be grateful. It's so much better to be grateful because things could always be worse, and things could always sometimes, as a person who kind of now understands how privileged he is, you have to. I hate the phrase "check your privilege," but you have to know your privilege. Because check your privilege makes you defensive. It's more of know your privilege and know that you have to use your talents for good, use your resources for good, to serve others, to help others, to love others, and things like that. So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, before asking God for anything, be grateful for everything. Have an attitude of gratitude. Suffering ends when the gratitude begins. And that's the message I want to kind of touch upon today. And yeah, all glory to the Most High. Bless up.